Hey everybody, this is a video that a lot of people have been asking about, and I thought I'd provide some clarity on a new update that we have from the FOA with our team at Undercurrent. We've been working on it for many months, packaging things and testing things and getting it ready for you. It's called Marlin. Marlin is an update to the Fisker Ocean that provides some big improvements. And I'm going to explain what Marlin is all about, what it does, what it improves in the car, and actually go through some real world scenarios in which I've noticed a little bit of a difference to the car, which is a positive thing. Definitely some positive changes for the car. I wanted to explain it by showing you what the installation is like, what we're updating, and then a little bit of our reactions from taking the car on a road trip after doing the full Marlin install. So the very first thing to jump in is, what is Marlin? What are we updating? And there's four main parts to what it is. Right before Fisker went bankrupt, there were updates that were developed for the VCU, which is the vehicle control unit, bringing it up to version 2.4, as well as the PDU, the power distribution unit. The update for PDU is called PDU 400, and there are also a number of updates to the ADAS system, which a lot of people are interested in, and we've actually gone into depth in the previous videos about what ADAS is, but we're updating the Hydra and the front camera module. And so Marlin is our package of four different parts that are being rolled out through the advanced installers team, which is really cool. We've got a number of people who are stepping up to the plate and practicing these installs and figuring out how to roll it out to all of you. And what we're going to do in this video is install it on one car and then take it for a test drive from Washington, D.C. up to New Jersey and back, and then explain some of the reactions and improvements that we've noticed along the way. So just as a quick background, VCU24 is the system that primarily drives the vehicle dynamics, propulsion, and battery management systems. So this update modifies power usage configurations for efficiency improvements, number one, and it adjusts thermal management protocols to enable battery preconditioning, which is a Pulse or ICC future updates feature. And it recalibrates DC fast charging profiles for consistent speeds, and it updates the tire pressure monitoring system, or TPMS, that is in the car. Now, just to clear up a little bit of confusion, that doesn't mean that if you go to a fast charger and you notice slower speeds, that this update's going to fix that. There is still a bug in the VCU, unfortunately, that causes sometimes when you plug into a fast charger, the speeds to be capped at a slower speed. So you will need OceanLink Pro or the OviLoop app to reset VCU in that case, but it's a fairly simple procedure to reset VCU, and your charging speeds will go way up after that. This VCU 24 update, I can say from experience, having driven it on multiple road trips now, really does impact the efficiency of the car. It's about a 5 to 10% efficiency increase, but trust me, if you're on a long road trip, any efficiency update is a welcome thing, right? So I've personally witnessed it, and I think it's worth it. Also, really quick on PDU 400, this is the power distribution unit. So this manages the high voltage power allocation and electrical routing. And the update resolves existing system bugs that prevent charging and bugs that can cause gear shift errors upon system boot up. So there are a multitude of reasons why you might get a gear shift error when you're booting up the car or first turning it on, but this will resolve at least one of them. So that's a good thing as well. So we're in the car now. I'm gonna start by looking at some diagnostics here. And we always do this before we start any work, just because we wanna make sure that everything in the car is working well. But from this point, what we need to do is actually, we're gonna go around to the front and we're gonna connect a power supply to the front of the car. And this is not just a standard 12 volt maintainer or charger. This is a PowerMax 75 amp maintainer. It actually keeps the 12 volt at a very steady voltage. And we need to do that for VCU 24 and also PDU 400 to make sure that the voltage of the car stays absolutely constant through the whole update. Okay, so this is the PowerMax maintainer right here. It's 75 amp. It will, on the front, it has 3 different modes. You can use it in fixed mode, which is what we want to do for Marlin updates. We want to make sure that the power is set at a specific voltage and that we're not going to change it. So what we're going to be doing then is we're going to be attaching the negative terminal here to the negative bar up here. Make sure that that's nice and secure. And then we're going to take off our battery cover. And we're going to attach this over here to the positive bus bar. We want to make sure that these are 100% attached and stable and everything's ready to go. It'll start to read what the battery voltage is right here, but I haven't turned it on yet because we're going to go around to the back and we're going to actually pull the fireman loop real quick. Let's go do that. So here's our fireman loop, and I'm just going to pull this so that we disengage the high voltage power from the car. That's disconnected now, so let's go back to the front. Okay, so what we want is we want to check the voltage here, and we're going to go in the car and see what our UDC tool is going to tell us. So as we have our maintainer connected and we have the high voltage loop unplugged in the back, we're now able to go into our service tool, over to vehicle service operations, and we're going to go to flashing. We're going to double check to make sure that our lines have been enabled. And now what we're going to go to, this is what we need to do, is go into the target ECU and select the VCU as our target. And we're going to load firmware version 2.4. And I'll go ahead and just read the ECU info, make sure that everything is responding. And I'm also going to go up to check preconditions, make sure that the ECU is responding and all conditions are met, safe to proceed with programming. So at this point, you might hear the car be on at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You'll hear the humming noise from underneath. That's okay. The car is actually in park. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to load firmware. And I'm going to go up and check preconditions one more time, make sure that everything is ready. All right, so now we are flashing VCU 2.4. The reason why we're pushing this update to cars is because it was developed by Fisker. They did have a plan for rolling it out, and OV-Loop is actually including it in their 2.7 update. We wanted to include it to our FOA members because we really do think that it has some great efficiency benefits for your cars. Okay, so with the VCU 2.4 update, we now have the flash succeeded message here, which means we should be all set. But beyond the VCU update, we are also installing PDU 400, which is a great update for the car as well. The PDU update, this is a quick one. We're in the same vehicle service operations page as before, and we're just going to check our preconditions for the PDU, and we're going to do the same that we did for the VCU, where we're going to change to firmware version 2.4. This should take about a minute or two max to complete. These are actually pretty small updates. In my personal opinion, and this is going to vary by all of you out there, I actually really think that the car at 2.2 with this new VCU 2.4 update, PDU 400 update, and PKC21, I think that's like the fantastic combination right there that a lot of people would be really happy with. Now, obviously, a lot of people out there want Pulse, or they want CarPlay, Android Auto, all those things. Those are nice to haves. But if you want a car that you just get into and it's reliable and it gets you from A to B every single day, I think that this combination of updates is the most stable and the most solid for this car. So I've been really enjoying it on mine. Undercurrent is working really hard to make all this happen, and I just want to give a big message of appreciation for the entire team working on the undercurrent side of things to enable all of this for us. So stay tuned for more updates, and we'll be reaching out with a plan for updating as many cars as possible in the near future. Okay, so I'm installing ADAS 3.1.1 on this vehicle. As a brief recap, this is updating two parts of the car. We call it partial ADAS because it's installing the Hydra unit in the trunk, which is the main ADAS brains of the operation. And then it's also going to update the front camera module in the front of the car. So the main idea with this is that we're updating ADAS to the last version that Fisker developed before bankruptcy. They did test this. It was homologated, contrary to some popular belief. This system takes over an hour to install. So whereas the VCU and PDU updates were pretty quick, this one definitely takes about an hour and a half with prep, getting everything ready. It's the same process of using the battery maintainer in the front of the car and pulling the HV loop in the back. It does have some benefits. I think at this point, ADAS has been proven to reduce bings and bongs considerably, I think, for some people. For other people, not as much. I mean, what it comes down to really is each car is a little bit different. The condition of your radars is really important for ADAS. So in my case, on my other car, I have two component failures right now with two radars, and I'm looking to update them or replace them. So I know that running ADAS 3.1.1 with faulty radars is still going to produce bings and bongs because those radar units are not working as intended. So the ADAS system is correct in reporting that. It doesn't bother me right now. But what would be interesting with this car is to see if it really does reduce the number of alerts that we get on a road trip that we're doing tomorrow. And I'll be recording that to see how it does. The main thing, of course, is always low light, rain, fog, or any other conditions that confuse the ADAS system. I just want to see how many alerts we get and if it's a improved experience. My other car has had backup camera issues for a long time, and as I noted, it's warm weather now, so the backup camera is working beautifully. But I am kind of holding out hope that maybe this update fix something with that backup camera. I don't know. It could be a solution or might not be. I'm going to definitely keep you updated on that. But this ADAS update does take a long time, and it can take a long time and takes a lot of patience, but also requires that you leave the car alone and don't touch anything. I learned this the hard way. You don't want to get in and sit down while it's updating anything. You want to leave it and let it just process the update. It's going to go through bit by bit, and it's an involved process. So as you can see, it's flashing in the background, which is great. I'm keeping an eye on it. But since it takes over an hour, you can just keep the door open. You can keep your laptop on, and the car is in what we call production mode. So there's no worry that the car is going to go to sleep. It's on and it's receiving the update. Okay, and that is what we want to see. Flash succeeded. The ADAS flashed successfully. So with that, we have completed it in just about an hour. So now we're going to move on to the front camera module. Quick note for the front camera module, you do want to have access to this fuse box in here because you're going to be pulling a fuse as part of the instructions. So it's just good to have that done and ready so that you're not doing it during the install and nudging cables or having anything go sideways. So make sure that's prepped beforehand. Okay, so we're moving right along with the front camera module. We now have flashed the app A and B of front camera module. So that's done, and the last step is the bootloader. So I'm just going to finish that up and then we will be done. Flash succeeded. So there we go. Front camera module is done, and we have one last step to do, which is to enable auto high beams. I'm going to enable that, and we now have auto high beams enabled. The main thing that I've noticed with, now that we've been on the road for a few days with the VCU and PDU updates, as well as ADAS 3.1.1, is that the car just seems quieter in general. There's less pop-ups and bings and bongs and alerts. There have been reports from other members of the advanced installers team who have had different weather conditions. I know Darren, for example, in Canada, he was reporting that during a major rainstorm when he was driving, his car didn't have any bings and bongs whatsoever, which is great. So the ADAS system seems to be a lot more controlled, quieter, and providing us with alerts when we need them and not constantly, as we've all kind of gotten used to. Now, there are some caveats to all of this. You should know, first of all, that the ADAS update takes at least an hour and a half, and it can also take longer than that if any of the process doesn't go through the first time. So sometimes with some cars, as we know with these Fisker Oceans, sometimes they have personalities or they're temperamental in weird ways. So sometimes those installs can take longer and can go up into 2 or 3 hours at a time. And the process itself has improved as far as the installation is concerned a lot over the past few months. So it does take some time, but it will go through. And then the other caveat to know with ADAS is that the improvements you'll see really will just be an overall improvement in the kinds of alerts that you get. There's still a lot of testing to be done to figure out exactly what that means, whether it's a 10 or a 20% reduction in alerts, or whether it does resolve some of the issues we've noted in previous videos about low light conditions, fog, rain, etc. But I do know from driving it to New Jersey and back that low light conditions in the early morning are definitely not triggering ADAS alerts anymore. And as Darren and others have noted with this update, in rainy or fog conditions, it also seems to be behaving a lot better. So those are improvements. Whether or not it's something that you need right now, that's up to you. But I would mention that it is an improvement and it's something worth considering. Now, for the VCU 2.4 update, what I've noticed as well is that the car does seem to be a bit more efficient. Of course, there's a caveat to all this, which is it really depends on how you drive. So if you think about the efficiency of the vehicle, if you drive at 75 miles per hour or faster, and you really push the vehicle to its maximum speed, you're not going to notice an efficiency increase because you're really pushing the car very hard. But if you do a lot of city driving, or if you drive at slower speeds on the highway, you will notice that the overall efficiency of the car improves. And we actually had a member of the advanced installer team, Artur, do some pre and post difference logging. So he actually noted that his VCU 2.4 increased in efficiency. So from his calculation and from others, I feel very confident that VCU 2.4 is a great update to the Fisker Ocean. And lastly, for PDU 400, it's more just bug fixes, but I think it's important for people to have the version of code running on their car that really does make the car better, and it was something that Fisker developed and should be on our cars. So it seems like a simple thing to address some of the bugs that were on PDU 400. But just to wrap it all up, I think in general, this update is really, really great for the car, with a strong caveat that it does take time to install, and we will need to roll out the advanced installers team further so that we can properly update cars in your region. And we're doing that across the United States, Canada, and Europe, but it's going to take time to roll this out. And also, you should try to be considerate of the advanced installers time, because it really does take a considerable amount of time. What I've been offering to a lot of people in my area, and this is just me, is that the VCU 2.4 and PDU 400 updates are pretty quick, so we can roll those out to a lot of people. And starting soon, we're going to be doing that for a lot of folks. And for people who really want ADAS 3.1.1, that's going to have to be set up and arranged, specifically keeping in mind the risk and also the amount of time that it takes to install. So as long as people are okay with that, we're going to make sure that people have updates as they need them. So stay tuned on updates from the FOA on the rollout, but I wanted to hopefully provide some more clarity on what Marlin is all about. So that's it. Thanks for watching.